Hey, love bugs, it's Roslynn back at you one more. I hope everybody is doing blessed. I'm doing blessed and highly favored, and definitely hope the same for you. And if this is your first time stopping by my channel, much love to you and welcome. And to my returning subs, my growing extended beautiful family, as always, thank you so much for the love and support y'all been constantly giving me. It is truly, truly, truly a blessing. So with that being said, much love to all. Namaste. Love and blessings, love and light, and many blessings are definitely coming your way. If you have been watching my videos for a while and have not already, like and subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know when I'm about to upload my next video. And if you're comfortable enough, drop me a line or two. I would love the chance to get to know you as much as you're getting to know me, even if it's about the positive feedback to the content of the video or you're telling me about your empathic gift. If you feel like the videos are uplifting, just give you a good vibe, you would love to share with a loved one, family, or a friend, or even a fellow empath that may be going through some trying times at the moment and just needs spiritual guidance or confirmation or validation towards life path or even soul purposes, please go ahead and share while you're at it. Give your girl a thumbs up, like, and also share the social media favorites wherever you see fit. As always, thank you so much for the love and support. It's truly, truly appreciated. And I hope you're able to resonate with the content of my video. I'm still listening to the same channel and the same I said motivation meditation song. It's by Spiritual Moment. It's called 741 Hertz. Stop overthinking, worry, or stress. Release inner conflict and struggle. Meditation music. And the video I'm doing today is Twin Flame 101 Heyokas. Stay mindful of your struggles. The test is your test is to see if your weaknesses overshadows your strength. And like I said, I've always been, if you've been with me for a while, I tell you, I keep it realer than real. I've always tried to be that way. Well, I work to be that way. Let me allow myself to retort, because it was, when I first started doing videos, I always worried to see if anybody would try to contradict the things that I'm thinking, or I'm trying to project out, or if anybody believed me, or anybody was going to just understand me in the ways that I was truly trying to be in that way. And so for me being that way, it was really a lot of work. And I tell anybody that if I've ever talked to, I do empath, empath counseling, or, social, I was called social services, is like, being able to give that one-on-one, because a lot of us are just now waking up, especially with everything going on with the pandemic, and, the projections is all being projected out right now with all the things going on is very heavy. And it was just being honest, when you're allowing yourself to be, you see many different sides of me. If you've been with me for a while, you have probably seen a lot of sides of me, whether it was vulnerable, of where you see me cry. I just did that a few days ago, and y'all catch me in my heavy moments, and God knows, universe knows, I don't like being in that type of vulnerability to where I'm, being out, because it's not the they always say some people do this for likes, or some people do this for views, or want attention, or want somebody to be feeling sad. But it's not even about that. It's just being able to be in that vulnerable state to let you know I can relate to the things you go through, because not everybody has a positive day. There's sometimes it's heavy. You don't want to be bothered with somebody, and sometimes you just want to be able to vent, just to be understood, or maybe somebody can give you some insight that you may be overlooking at that time. Because a lot of times we go through our emotions and it'll be stuck there. It's just one negative vibration, one negative past thought, or a wound comes up, and all of a sudden it just goes in heavy rotation. It just stays that way. But your power is when you can get there and you can identify, like, hey, this is not going to do any good for me. Thinking about this moment, can I change it? What is this trying to teach me? What do I learn? And it's like when you get to that point where when you're speaking to God, universe, whoever you meditate, pray to, worship, whatever, when you're really wanting better into your life, where you're just seeing that you're not being fulfilled, your life is not, worth living for, you're just seeing different people doing things that they truly enjoy, and you want to have that type of path too. And universe does that, but they're going to just tell you, okay, what direction I'm getting you to take, or what are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to do? And you're like, anything, everything, whatever you guide me to do. I just want my life to be better. I just want to be able to manifest the things that is not going to make me feel like, I'm forcing myself to do something. Because there's a lot of jobs that I may have liked because I was excited. It was something I was doing. But after a few weeks later, I said, oh Lord, I know I am not about to get at this job. I'm not going to stay here long because I already see it's going against what I believe in. And I'm just not going to be at this long, but it was allowing me to have those different, experiences. So you never know where it might take me somewhere down the road. And, being truthful about different things allows people to be able to really connect with me on that level, because there's a lot of people that can really, feel where I'm coming from. Like, you can totally relate to the experiences I've had. I've had my moments of weaknesses that I dealt with different addictions, dealing with my pain, dealing with my trauma, my abuse, whatever I went with, just being able to deal with things. I used to be a heavy drinker. I used to be a kleptomaniac back when I was younger, a little pyromaniac when I was like 8, 9, 10 years old. It made me think I was going to go in the vibe of a serial killer. I said I didn't start killing no animals or anything like that, but I used to love, fire. Ain't know why I was, but I was like, if it did, my mom's ex-husband used to smoke cigarettes heavy. So if something started on fire, I'm like, hey, you put a cigarette in here, and then the whole thing caught on fire. And it was about me just putting paper up under the gas stove and just lighting stuff up. But being on that, I've been going through a lot of heavy burdens. Like I've said before, if you've been with me for a while, you truly know my story and understand what I'm going through. And it's, I appreciate the respect that people don't bring it up. I try my hardest not to bring stuff up like that, because it's a lot of times it just don't bring up the more heavy drama in your life that you really truly ain't seeking. And it was just like, I used to be very heavy on opiates. And when I used to use opiates, I used to drink around with my opiates, And I started that when I got hit by a drunk driver. It was like a day before 4th of July. And it was like, I was getting ready to go get my kids. I had my ex-boyfriend's car. It was like it was 2005. And I had a 2005 Buick Regal. And his car is like, I'm only 5'2". I was only $105 soaking wet at that time. So it was like, I called my mom this before my mom passed away. And I'm like, hey, I'm on my way back. I just got off of work. So I was working at Ryan's. Anybody ever been a server at one of these restaurants and you're closing, you get out of there dark 30 sometimes. But it was like me going, and it's like where I stayed on the outer road, and where I stayed at the outer road, it was like fast food restaurants, and it was already right around the corner. My house was right around the corner from the club. So my car that I had was running hot, and my car was like I forgot what it was, like a Buick or something like that, Buick Celebrity. It went back in the day. And I went to go get my boyfriend's car at the time. And, I went to go get my kids and everything like that. But I told my mom, I said, hey, I almost got hit by this cab driver. They almost got straight on, head on. If I didn't swerve, I would have got hit. Like, it would have been done. I would have been out of commission in a whole new way, and it's like where I was driving at was like a side road. But if you look down that hill, it was like the major highway. And with that being right before the 4th of July, it was very, very busy, because people going to go see their families, or they're going, to Six Flags or something like that going around. But, when I pulled over and closed my phone, I kept on hearing this car revving, and I was like, I don't see it, but I hear it. I don't know what's going on. I look up the street and look back. And by the time I heard a voice say, put your hand on the side of the window, keep your leg right here, because it's like my leg, I always used to, when I drive, I always put my leg right by the door. I don't know, I always used to sit like that. But as soon as I turned my eyes and seen that, the lights came on. This man has, I guess he did like a donut or something like that, and he hit the ditch. And then when he hit the ditch, it came back up, hydroplane, and went smack dead and T-boned me. And the car just curled. And I know I passed away praying and crying, because it's like my kids, my mom doesn't know where I'm at. My kids are at my mom's house. She's not going to know what's going on. And I just left the house, and my boyfriend was like, we're hearing all kind of police cars and, ambulance going down the street. And they were just thinking, because we're right down the street from the club, they thought something happened, at the club, but not thinking, it was me that got hit in a car accident. And when you see the car, there's no way I should have still been here. And from what it was, I prayed. And when I prayed, I did not realize I passed away. I was probably dead for like 5-10 minutes, which is like a borderline, something could have went on that, I couldn't have came back right. But right when they used the jaws of life, and I felt like them nerves kick in, because it's like my whole left side was crushed and my hip was messed up on this side for where it happened, and my hands were embedded in my face, because it's like, trying to, I went like this and all of a sudden I went like this, trying to cover my face automatically, for all those different things. And I came back, and the first thing I know, the first thing I asked is the man, okay, he was like, "You the only person I know that come back," and it's like, come back, and you more worried about the drunk driver than yourself. And I said, I know that man didn't do that on purpose. Like if you had a death wish, I don't think you're going to take me along with you, but the way they said it scared them, and they had to be amazed. And what was so crazy is I'm driving this car, and it has a metal barrier, but on the metal barrier on the other side, and you see the car, there's hand indentions. There was nobody standing by my car when I parked over there, but there was hand and feet indentions to make sure me and that car that came into contact with each other didn't flip over. So it was basically me saving him, and that saved us. It saved all these people that was on the traffic, because it was like, back-to-back traffic, on a major highway. But that's what started my opiate addictions. I started feeding through that. My foot was broke. Started trying to still work at Ryan's. Foot was messed up, and I got really addicted to it. I used to dance, and that's where a lot of people, where we worked at, there was a lot of people doing that along to everything, doing the book of sugar, and the devil's lettuce and stuff like that, using different words so my video doesn't get demonetized. But going through that, it took me a couple of times for me ODing, for me to stop. And, losing a family member that I love really dear, recently had overdosed on the same situation. So it just allowed me not to go through that route again, because if I went from opiates to drinking very heavy, went from drinking really heavy into the point of me smoking devil's lettuce. Right when I found out about my spiritual awakening, it was when I was on the verge of, I was a functional, eating devil's lettuce. That's how I lived and breathed. But it was at that point that God was like, I'm about to load some truth on you. So I'm going to need you to stay on this lettuce for a minute. I'm going to need you to stay on this. And it was like, the more I did that, and I don't condone that to anybody, people, whatever you do, what you do, but I don't feel like you should function like that. I can see if it's different, if you have seizures, or, they do that for AIDS and cancer patients, people that have, epilepsy, and those different things is coming on. I say, I ain't no doctor, I ain't no therapist, but I don't self-diagnose anybody to be going through that when you're dealing with everyday stress. Universe wants us to be able to face things head on. But when you're wanting your path to go totally different, and you're willing to give up anything, that's just anybody. You're like, man, I'm just willing to give up anything. It's like if you're in a life-threatening thing, and somebody trying to take your whole life, trying to wipe you out of existence, like what you willing to do, any and everything. I don't want to live my life like that. God will purposely put you on a path of discovering yourself in a whole new light. But the point is, he's like, when he asks you, when you come to that moment of where you deciding your life needs to go into a heavy detour, he's going to ask you, are you willing to do any and everything that I direct you to do? No matter what I'm telling you, you can't go against what I tell you, because I want to see how bad are you willing to go over and above and beyond for yourself, for the change that you're willing to deserve, because you don't live your life. And there are certain parts of your life you're just not meshing with anymore. There's certain things that you're just not in that alignment anymore. And you're wanting better into your life. And for you to exceed, to go better, you have to be willing to sacrifice things and do things you have never done. If you want to get into things that you have never, experienced, you're going to be willing to have to sacrifice every single thing that you have never done before. So through my situation, I'm being real with you. I had me a setback recently of going back to the devil's lettuce, because I was going through so much heaviness in my life, and I could not deal with it. It wasn't coming to that point of what I did it, like when I first started. I tell people real quick, it's not something I'm prideful about. When I first started my videos, I used to smoke. That's how I used to, get in touch with my higher self. I had to be higher, and I did not know how to be able to channel that part of myself to receive what the universe was guiding me towards. But when I did that, it was allowing me to connect to things that I wasn't able to do since I was a little girl. If you're a child, you're much more sensitive, or you're on that vibration of the spectrum, you're a lot more sensitive. Because a lot of people, with us being empaths, you start having children that are autistic. Some people find out when their babies are little that they're showing some kind of signs of autism. I met a lot of people recently are now starting to find out that their child is amongst that spectrum. So going through all these different things, I was dealing with a lot of grief at one time, dealing with a lot of truth that I know I couldn't beat with a sober mind. So me being transparent, I tell people, yes, there's going to be times where you're going to have a setback. I tell people real quick that, especially on a one-on-one, that they talk to me like, Roz, I had a setback. And I'm like, okay. They were like, are you going to judge me? Why? I'm not God. I'm not going to judge you. I don't know what situations you're facing. I don't know what things that you're going on a day-to-day basis that made you want to go back to those situations. But God is telling you, universe is telling you, we're about to prep your life on things that you never seen coming. You about to live a life that you may not even imagine you can be able to achieve. But for you to get there, your shadows of your weaknesses and fear can overpower your strength and happiness and power. You can't do that. And it's like, were you willing to do anything? It's like, no matter what you do, whatever addictions you have, whatever bad habits that you already know I'm not condoning that you do to face a lot of things, that's going to have to be given up. But if you want what I want for you, and it's going to be better than you never imagined, you're going to have to make those sacrifices. You willing to do that? What you going to say? Heck yeah, I'm willing to do that. It's like, okay, remember I told you that. Okay. So as soon as you do that, you on that path of discovering yourself in a whole new different light. The vibrations feel good. You aiming towards something that can invest your life in such bigger standards that you never imagined. But that game changer gonna be when he drop you in that most hellish situation. You gonna hit struggle, and that struggle gonna hit deep. But he's gonna ask you, okay, I'm gonna put you in this stressful situation. How you gonna handle it? Because you can't handle it like you used to. You can't go. I used to smoke cigarettes. I'm about to smoke my last one. Okay, I just recently said I can't smoke. No, devil's lettuce somewhere. I woke up and my whole head felt like it was going to explode. I'm like, touche, you already told me not to do that. But, look, I was like, look, I had a situation and I couldn't deal with that, and it's like, I keep it real. These are not something I'm proud of doing. But when your truth is really showing your strength, is when you can tell somebody it's okay to have a slip up. Don't make a habit of keep on making that slip up. But when you're heading forward and marking grace with your strength, is when you can allow yourself to say, I had a weak moment. And I know it wasn't right. But then I'm allowing myself to be honest. I had a weak moment. But when your strength is really showing, when you're being honest with yourself about what your weaknesses are. Now, for you to do that, you're aware of what your weaknesses are, and no, you can't continue to do that because, see, your stuff can't come into your light until you can allow yourself to align. Because God sees what you're able to be capable of doing for yourself, able to achieve of yourself, but he wants you to have that confidence. Because my situation is where people see different things in my life and they're already sitting up here, oh, she can get this and that. Well, let me make sure I add more stress into her life. Let me allow myself to be more effed up in her life and bringing more problems to her life, because I don't want to see her happy. I don't want to see her blessed. I don't want to see her do that. But in actuality, I'm mad at the whole damn world, but not realizing this is what God set up for me. Are you going to allow what that person is saying that they don't want you to have? Because I'm going to use their weaknesses to make your weaknesses burst through. Okay. There's always somebody is being used in a purpose of your glory. And you have to be able to understand that. Because a lot of time I'll be looking like, God, I'm not trying to take this person out. You must really be calling them back way too soon. You really doing that. It's like, no, I'm using that person to get you out of your situation. A lot of times I've been placed in situations where I allowed myself to sacrifice my happiness, my self-respect, my wealth for myself, my worth for myself. All those things that is very priceless to any person, but it's up to you to be able to see that. I put myself in situations, I did certain things that broke my heart to see what I did as a child, just to have connections. I lived a grown ass life before I was supposed to, trying to find connections that I didn't get from a father figure, or, from, my mom gave it to me, but it was like hot and cold, hot and cold, hot and cold. And then it took me to get grown to be able to say, you can't be given, not everybody's worth your part of you. That's sacred. And there was a lot of times it was like, anybody ever seen that movie named Black Snake Moan? I was almost at one chain to that daggone heater, because the way I dealt with it, it was through intimacy, going out and doing different things, popping medicine, drinking right after that, because I didn't want to face any of my burdens that I had to be in my life. And it's just like, now I can actually say this, and I can say this with a humble heart. I'm very humble. And I can be honest about that, because there's somebody who is living that story right now, is trying to find that compassion through outer influences, knowing this is that moment where you have to go within. Everything that you're going through is leading you towards a purpose you never thought you would be, encountering, is entering into your life. And a lot of those struggles that you're going through is leading you to a destiny you never thought you were going to be vibing to. But this is that moment of truth where you're being honest with yourself, because there are so many different things I dealt with in my life that was sent to break me. Because it's just to see the actions and people that swore up and down they loved me. It was a big joke when they seen tears coming down my eyes, when they can sit up here and hit below the belt and embarrass me in front of everybody and see me get upset. It's like, I told her she was like that, but not realizing that was their moment of gaslighting me, because it was feeling their ego of where they weren't, they didn't have that was their weaknesses. I was that thing that was very intimidating to them. So they wanted to be able to make me look bad in any kind of way, because that shall overshadow what they did to me. And then when I can finally allow myself to see an ace, a spade is a spade, any way you play it, but it's like, I appreciate that vulnerability of wanting to be that, me being that scapegoat. It helped me find my truth in a lot of things. And that scares a lot of people that came in your life and wrecked it. Because I tell people real quick, the most dangerous person is the one who can control their emotions. I'm telling you. And it's like the people that just tore my life apart, I can be very calm in front of them. They're not used to that, Roslynn. They tried to come at me with the old one, and that old one don't exist no more. You come in with that new one, and they know. And I told them, it makes me very dangerous when I know things that you really tried to hide, and now all that came back. It took a death for me to be able to see my truth. And that scared the hell out of them, because there's nothing. I throw everything in their face about, oh yeah, I know about this, and that. But I'm not using that to be making them look bad, because that makes me do the same thing that they did to me. But it's just the fact of appreciating that abuse that I got, because it allowed me to see my strength. Being able to face the things that broke my heart, and it was just so many different things that it was shadowed to me or projected towards me from the universe. You dealing with something many can't come back from. And when they come back from, they don't come back right because of these situations. We using the things that was so I can't even come with the words with it, with the feelings that it just violated me in every way. Emotionally, especially mentally, in so many ways that, I couldn't believe that this has happened to me. This is the life I'm living. You hear about stuff like this on Lifetime, on a Lifetime movie network, or Tyler Perry done got a movie out like that, but not me. And for me to be able to go through stuff like that, it's like you really don't know how much encouragement and power you have within yourself. A lot of times you got to do that encouragement to yourself. You may not get it out on the street, but you have to be able to give that to yourself. Put yourself in check, like you can do far more better. Why are you allowing to be hurt by somebody who don't even love themselves? It's like anybody that reflected hurt to me, they were dealing with some other pain that had nothing to do with me. But it was something that I got that they didn't get from anybody else. They didn't get that from that love from their parents. I did. and that was separated from my life. Now it's like when I'm using this as that tool to be able to help my life be so much better. You can be honest and be telling people, yes, you have done some embarrassing things. When we grow up, we always made some stupid decisions, but that don't mean you got to be sacrificed and crucified for it. Well, no, that means different because took somebody out of life or whatever like that. Hey, you on your own. I ain't do all that. But I'm just saying, there's things that you have done in your life that you are not prideful about that now. If you ain't did an upgrade between them 20, 30 years, like Cat Williams said, you still doing the same stuff you were doing 20 years ago, it's a problem. But it's like with me, I'm very, very projective about being able to show you my struggle, tell you about my struggle to a certain extent, to be able to show you this is the positivity I got from a jacked up situation, because there's a lot of people that I know, like Roslynn, they ain't no way in hell. It was like, no way in hell I could have been going through that and still be right. And I said, there had to be something very special about your experience. It was very hurtful. It took me to a very dark place. But that dark moment, that dark place showed me that powerful light that was in there, that was ready to get reintroduced to me. And there's so many different times when I have felt that love that I got, that I have allowed myself to put a wall up because I didn't let people get close to me. And being able to feel that was always there. But that pain and that anger and is just confusion always block that. Because a lot of times we're going through different things in our life and we want to feel that love. We want to be able to feel that passion, compassion, that understanding. But we don't realize when we're angry and we're fixated on all the burdens we have in our lives, we like that's that shield, that blocks that. You can't get it if that it is like your love can't come through to give you that comfort, to let you know you're not doing this on your own. If that fear and that pain and that anger is so much stronger than that love that you're wanting to get, that wants to be able to let you know you're not going through this by yourself. But there's a lot of different things. If God wants a better life for you, he's going to make you go through some treacherous situations where you can't go back and handle those things the way you used to. Like I said, I used to smoke my cigarettes. I'm on my last one. And I said, I made sure, I had me another addiction, but it's going to be a sugar addiction. But I'm going to have to work through that one too. But it was just like being able to face my stuff head on. Yes, those things may be hard. That truth pill may be hard as hell to sit up here and digest, but it's okay. If I put you in a tough situation, guarantee you I'm gonna make you go through that, that situation. If he put you through it, he gonna guide you through it. Like I said in the last video, God don't care less about your comfort. He care more about that character. That's the things he's trying to build up a solid foundation for you. Don't let your weaknesses overpower your strength, because that strength is way more powerful than you ever know. But there's a lot of times, the sad thing when it comes to people that is getting exposed at a very young age, you're dealing with a lot of people that got weaknesses of a wound, and they want to make you feel like they felt. They don't feel like, there are some people that will feel like, what, I went through these situations. I don't want to put that person through that. I know what that felt like. And then I realized I placed that castment on my kids. And now I'm trying to go all through here and being able to be that parent to say, what, I really messed up. Yes, I really did. I had kids at a very young age because I didn't feel that love at home. So I wanted to have kids that, and I don't care how I do them, they're going to love me regardless, and not feeling like I'm making a carbon copy of the things that I grew up doing. And thank God my kids didn't do all the stuff that I did. Thank God. I don't know if I can handle that. But, my kids put me through some changes. But there's a lot of things that I projected on them for that to happen. But when you start keeping it real with yourself and say, yes, I had a moment of weakness. I done went back to the pipe, or went back to the syringe, or I might went back and start cutting myself. When you can allow yourself to see what things are holding you back, what's hindering you. Because it's like God don't make our road of experience easy. He wants that to be a life lesson to know where I can carry you from. Because if I'm taking you out to troubled waters, it's because the enemies can't swim out there. I got you right here. The devil wants to make it seem like you ain't gonna never get what I promised you. Life is always gonna be this way. Your enemies are always gonna exceed over you. All the things he's telling you is a bold-faced lie. That's where that ego and the wounds and that toxicity start growing strong, just to make you go back. Because the devil and your enemies a lot of times will see your blessings coming before you do. And when they see that, they want to make sure they put all weaknesses. I used to deal with that. Currently deal with it. It's just the fact is, if I see something right there that I can have that I know is not going to be good for my soul, ain't going to be good for the road I'm trying to aim to, you got to be stronger than that. Like, boo-boo, go outside, get a walk with nature, go ahead and uplift yourself by listening to songs. Watch a movie that makes you laugh, but find a different way, a healthier way, a positive way, or dealing with things that you are facing. Is when you start doing those things, it's not easy, but it's just like if you can go one day, if you had stuff to hit rock bottom and you found a way to laugh at it, or trying to see what kind of positive lesson you were getting out of that circumstance, or you allowing yourself to go talk to a friend that is very mutual with you, that wants to see you grow, wants to see good in you, and that's like kind of like a sponsor. Go ahead and do that, but find healthier ways to dealing with your issues. Because right now, when you're aiming towards something good, God is going to place you in the midst of all type of confusion just to see if you're going to have that confidence to not give in to your weaknesses. Don't fall back in the old ways, because you won't live there no more. Then you ain't even that no more. So allowing you to keep moving. Like I said, I can be very honest and transparent about those things. I say I'm not shameful. I don't care how people think, what they say, what they figuring out. I said my experience, anybody's opinion on my experience didn't change my experience. That's just their opinion. The opinion don't mean nothing to me. You know what I'm saying? But it's all about people that needed to hear that message. There's going to be moments of, weaknesses when you're dealing with heaviness in the world. Maybe you got financial issues. There may be a day that your money is getting tight and you may be out on the street. You trying to figure out how you going to feed your kids. You trying to figure out, is this job going to really get me somewhere? Is my marriage or my life with my life partner, is that going to get better? Is this person, do they really love me, or are they making me feel like they're using me? You're going to go through moments like that. Through the midst of it all. Remind me of that song by Yolanda Adams, The Midst of It All. That battle is not yours. Your experience is going to be for God's glory. Like I tell you, I ain't no religious person, but I'm heavy as heck on my experience. I know how he's worked wonders in my life, because the things that I've been through, really have been through, I should not have been this far as I am now. I may not be, having the perfect quality on my videos, but as long as you can hear it, I don't have that, high fidelity format where everything looks crystal clear. I'm working on that. But it's just like you have to be able to see that come up, being able to keep on going, allowing yourself to be transparent. Don't allow somebody to shame you because of what you don't have or where you're going, because that's you are that intimidation for them. Instead of being, I put that post up the other day by what Prima Donna said, and that message hit home. It hit very heavy. Instead of people, you become somebody's competition when they're too prideful to say you're inspiring. And I tell people all the time, you don't know what kind of inspiration you are inspiring others to be. I'm not exactly where I want to be right now, but that don't mean I ain't going to be there. But I say I'm going to work to it. I'm going to stay true to myself. Bump who don't like it. I appreciate the ones that don't like it, as well as they're supporting me on liking what I do. And appreciate that, because this is all about my life lessons. Even the worst in people will bring out the best in you. You have to understand that. But I hope you were able to resonate with the content of this video, y'all. I love y'all so much. I hope y'all have a blessed, safe weekend. Be responsible in everything you do. I ain't giving a shout out because I already went over longer than I wanted to. Like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Drop me a line. I would love a chance to hear from you. I'll leave all my contact information in the description box below in case you want to be able to have a one-on-one with me. And it's all about spiritual networking. If you want to tell me about experience you may be having, or if you need any kind of guidance, I try my best to do that through my experience, or I try to find the information to give you a deeper understanding. And I will see y'all on my next video. Have a blessed, safe weekend. Be responsible for everything you do. Whatever you're trying to manifest in your life, I hope it's so much beautiful and bigger than you ever imagined. It comes sooner than you ever expected. Even through social distancing, give out, love, light, positivity, words, vibe, frequencies. You never know. All those things really help somebody a long way. And I'll see y'all on my next video. Much love. Peace.